gonna get to Virginia's makeup now. We're gonna do a balanced, professional, but really a finished look. And what I mean by balance is this. You always wanna take into consideration someone's natural coloring. So with Virginia, she has dark hair, dark eyes, medium to medium dark skin tone, which means the colors I need to use on her really need to balance her intensity to create a balanced look. So let's get started. First thing I wanna do is her eye makeup. Turn towards me slightly, and we're gonna start with the eyebrow. Now remember, the brow goes from the nose flare up past the inner corner of the eye is the exact starting point, and look at her, she's exquisitely shaped. It's already at the perfect spot. So you can make that as a little marker with your brush, just like that. You know, and I just discovered working with Virginia that I need a thinner brush, so I'm grabbing actually a thinner edged brush to make that mark. I don't want to overpower her brow. From the nose past the outer corner of the eye is where the brow should finish, and exquisite. Who's doing your brows? They look good. All right, so I'm gonna draw two lines. Now look what I do. I go right along the bottom row of hairs and I draw a straight line. We want the brow to climb, 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 climb. And at the last possible second, when that brow is just about to poke through the top of her eyebrow, I'm gonna draw down on the top row of hairs. So along the bottom row of hairs on the bottom, along the top row of hairs out here in the outer corner. So you see, we start to create this kind of an image to her eye. Now I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to gently fluff up this color into her eyebrow. I want you to notice that I grab the color that I just put on and I'm fluffing it upward, okay? Because you want these brows to look exquisite and will really shape your eye. If you only have one thing to do before you leave the house in the morning, make it your brows, okay? It's sort of it's the element that will frame your face when you're out and about, but no one will know that you've done it. Any other kind of makeup you do, people just kind of draws focus to it. For some reason, the brows just make you look better, but we don't know why. Perfect, so now we're gonna move on to eyeshadow, and the first thing I'm gonna use on Virginia's eye is an eyeshadow base. And this is Vital. Close for me. And this is a cream to powder base, and you notice it's much lighter than her own skin tone, so I have to be very careful not to apply too much. All I wanna do is neutralize her eye area, also make it smoother. This is gonna make the eyeshadow go on smoother, last longer, look better, all of those things. If you're wondering how far to do all this, again, use the same barometer from the inner corner of the nose past the brow, inner corner of the eye past the brow, right along the eye line. Everything falls within that V sector, vector V. And then what I'd like you to do is take just a little bit of a powder and just set what you've just done. So for Virginia, I'm gonna use a kind of a medium dark powder. Close, please. And I'm just gonna set what I've just done a little bit. And this is just gonna keep anything on her lid from creasing throughout the day. You notice her natural skin has, it's over functioning as far as the oil production is concerned. So she's gonna have issues with things wanting to run on her during the day. So a little extra powder in between steps is really gonna make a big difference for her. Okay, now I think you should do this even if you're not going to wear eyeshadow, that last step I just did. Now the next step I'm going to show you is eyeliner, and I do think you should do eyeliner next for the day look. Reason being is then your eyeshadow is going to lay over the top of the eyeliner and it's going to soften the appearance of the line. So I'm going to take a little bit of my eyeliner. Now this might tickle a little bit, so you bear with me, okay? Bring your chin down a little bit. Good. So look, I'm lifting up her eyelid. You see that? I'm lifting it up, and then with the tip of my brush, I'm putting on a waterproof eyeliner right underneath her eyes. This is awesome. Squeeze your eyes a little bit, squeeze tight. So what happens is, it transfers down to the bottom, so you get a little bit of that makeup on the underside of the eye as well. But that really makes the eye pop really nice. And because it's waterproof, it's gonna wear super, super well all throughout the day. Look up and to the right. And I'm going to suggest that she take her liner all the way to the inner corner. It's really going to expand the shape of her eye. The farther that line goes out, the bigger her eye is going to look. And look down again and take it all the way to the outer corner. That looks exquisite. To enhance her eye a little bit more, I'm going to put the liner on the top now. Close, please. So I take my brush and I wiggle with my brush between the hairs along the top. And what I'm doing is I'm enhancing her line. Remember, this is her eye line. And that's what I mean is that's where her lashes grow. That's what an eye line is. So if you fill in along your lashes, you've created a line. You don't have to draw a line, just fill in the line that exists. Open, please. And look at that. So you see we're getting a little bit of a schmutz down here, but I want to tell you that I'm not going to worry about this because that's why I don't do foundation first. We might make a mess, but I'll clean it up later. Otherwise, I'll be sitting there all day trying to clean up as I go, and that's just going to take too long. Okay, are you ready for a nice day look that has a little bit of heat? All right. So we're going to do a nice brow color. It's kind of a medium intensity, close please, copper. I'm going to press this onto the ball of her eye. You know, I was a little timid about putting this on you, but I don't need to be. This looks really, really good. So look how this color kind of, it almost like it belongs on her face. It's not, doesn't overpower her features, but it's not too subtle too. It just really kind of shapes the ball of her eye real nice. And I use my brush upside down to get all the way down to the lash bed. And you notice I use a pat and press technique to apply this eyeshadow. I don't want you to brush like this because you make a mess all over the face. Open, please. And look straight ahead here. Good, good, good. And then back here, please. Beautiful. So that's a nice shape. Now I'm going to give her a little bit of a contour. So I'm going to take a darker neutral and close. And starting from the outer corner, I'm just going to apply a darker neutral up into the crease of her brow bone just to open up her eye a little bit. So very important with this technique, start in the outer corner. See, I push that brush in, it's going into that little pocket underneath her brow bone. That's very important that you do that. If you go on the bone, you tend to over-exaggerate the shape of the eye. Push it in, brush it in, push it in, brush it in. You notice I don't go back and forth yet. I'm only applying the color inward. Open, please. And so she gets this nice open lift to her eye, quickly and easily. She's following her groove on her eye. That's right, Virginia got her groove back with her eye makeup here. Then we go back and forth, and what I'm doing now is I'm just blending. But look at the circular motion of my brush, okay? It has to round. The eyeball is round, the ocular bone is round. The minute you start going flat and you get in a rush, give it up. The makeup's not gonna look good. Go in a half circle, make it look really good. And then right at the very end, kind of wash it down onto the lid a little bit. Open, please. Bang, now her eye really pops. You notice this intensity is still not darker than her eye color and not darker than her hair color, so it feels appropriate on her eye, and that's what's most important. Lastly, I'm going to give her just a little bit of a highlight color just along her brow bone. And all I'm really doing is just kind of softening the appearance of the brow bone by putting a little shadow on there. Now you notice with my brush, I am placing it like this. I'm not brushing it on. I really want to get it right where it belongs. Now I'm going to take that same brush, and where the dark and the light color meet, I'm going to blend. And you can't be in a hurry when it comes to blending. Shadows blend when they're ready. They just kind of like, they resist, and then they go, ah, and they ease into the look. Open, please. And then you get this. So, wow. So you know, just compare the two sides on her eye. You see how the eye is framed, it's popped, but again, it doesn't overpower who she is. Admittedly, there's a mess down here, but we'll clean that up when it's time to do her skin. But that's what I would suggest as a really beautiful look for a finished eye. If you're watching this at MakeupGourmet.com, I've listed my current favorite products to achieve this look. Click on one and try it. If you're not at MakeupGourmet.com, go there now to see my favorite product picks for this look, as well as everything else we have to offer. How to apply, what to buy. MakeupGourmet.com.